Okay, I have 6 o'clock. We got everybody we need.
Okay.
All right, let's have a roll call.
Wells here.
Strode present.
Herb Tom here.
Mayor here.
All right, we have a quorum, so I call to order the meeting of the Historic District Review Board. Do we have any public comments?
Sliding glass door.
Do not have any public comments.
I'm sorry, Tracy, we don't have any?
Or we do not have any public comments.
Very good. Okay.
On the
Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Okay, do we have a second?
second.
All right, we have a
Second.
second. Any discussion? No discussion, all in favor? We'll have a roll call. Ed,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Herb,
Aye.
Martin? Martin, you-
Yes.
muted. Okay. All right, the agenda's been approved. So I have to read the laborious introduction as usual, so bear with me. This special meeting of the Historic District Review Board is being held electronically as provided under Code of Virginia, Section 2.23708.2, subsection A.3, which permits public bodies to meet by electronic communication without a quorum, physically assembled at one location since on March the 12th, 2020, Governor Northam declared a state of emergency for the Commonwealth of Virginia arising from the novel coronavirus pandemic. The purpose of this meeting is as follows. Review minutes as follows. The minutes from the October 6th, 2020 meeting. Minutes from October 20th, 2020. Minutes from November the 4th, 2020, and November the 17th, 2020. Reviewing pre-applications as follows. A, to relocate windows and doors at 511 Harbor Avenue. B, to construct an accessory structure and to install a fence at 416 Plum Street. C, to modify windows and add a skylight at 209 Randolph Avenue. D, to construct an attached garage on a single-family detached dwelling at 705 Monroe Avenue. E, to construct a two-story, single-family detached dwelling on lot 369 on Tazewell Avenue. An audio recording is being made of this meeting. The meeting is also being live streamed on Facebook, as well as being videotaped for viewing from the town's website after processing. Public comments will be accepted this evening via Facebook Live and emails to planner@capecharles.org. Comments were also solicited to be emailed to the clerk, planner, and planning technician prior to the meeting. All votes taken this evening will be by roll call vote and recorded in the minutes. Any board members who leave the meeting or arrive after start of the meeting must verbally note their attendance. Only essential business of the town of Cape Charles can be done in this manner. These procedures will remain in effect until COVID-19 crisis has been alleviated. Any of the board members have any questions?
No.
No.
Right.
Oh,
Okay. Skip through the minutes here. And we'll start with,
Carrie, do we have to approve the approval of the minutes? Make a
we
motion.
did with the consent agenda.
That's included?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, the first application is for pre-application, is for 511 Harbor Avenue. Does the zoning administrator want to have any comments on this before we talk to the applicant?
I have no comments on this particular application at this time.
Okay. All right, is the applicant present?
Hi, I'm Claudine Pierce. I'm here, yes.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Your name was
My name's Claudine Pierce.
Claudia. Okay, you want to just walk us through, and bear in mind this is a pre-application, so our intention here is to try to give you some guidance in case to make you the most successful when you come for the actual application.
Sure. The house at 511 Harbor, it's a 1940s Cape Cod house. It's a contributing structure. At some point, all of the exterior trim was wrapped and the vinyl siding was installed. And all of the original windows were replaced with solid vinyl windows. So there's really no original detailing on the outside, unfortunately. Only the forefront windows have grids between the glass. It's also difficult to tell if all of the windows are in their original location. The owners would like to open up the rear side of the house, which faces the west and faces the beach. It's kind of a typical of the 1940s. There's very little connection between the inside and the outside of the house. And there's also a very small galley kitchen in the rear currently that has a door that goes to the outside. So they'd like to open up the rear of the house, which faces the beach, like we're showing on the drawings. The new windows and doors, they are looking at using,
Basically west.
can you hear me?
Yes.
They're looking at using the Anderson 400 series, which is wood protected with vinyl, and they want to use SDL simulated divided light windows. They're also at the same time, they're going to be doing some upgrades like undergrounding the electrical service, moving the electrical meter to the south side where you won't see it. And they're also going to be doing some upgrades on the other mechanical, electrical, and plumbing in the house.
Okay, do we have any questions or comments from the board members?
Well, I just have one clarification. In that Peacock Cottage letter, it talked about the lot facing the west, and then, but I know even though there's a 511 in the back, that's not the entrance. The entrance is facing the east. Is that correct, Claudine?
I'm a little directionally challenged, but yes, it's facing the water. I'm sorry. I can be directionally challenged sometimes. Yeah.
What's facing the water?
The back of the house. All of
Right,
the
okay.
renovations that are a part of this application are facing the water.
Okay, because it said the lot faced the water. That's okay. Okay.
It's on a corner. It's got the
Yeah.
alley behind it, plus it's on the corner, so it's on three sides.
Okay. That's good. Thank you.
So is there, in terms of the property, is there anything between the property and Bay Avenue?
There is a lot
Mhm.
that, so it's their house on 511 Harbor. There's the alley behind it, and then there's a lot that is between the alley and Bay Avenue.
And they don't own that lot, right?
They do not.
Okay. Other members?
Fixing it there.
Tracy, the only question I have, are the brick steps going to stay?
The right now they're proposing to put in regular pressure treated steps, but they are okay with relocating or rebuilding the brick steps.
This is the brick steps that are on the rear.
Correct. There are two sets of brick steps on the rear.
This is kind of a unique property because the rear is almost as visible as the front of the house.
I
And
know.
realize that is partly because there's nothing on the lot that's there. If there was a house on the lot, it wouldn't be quite as visible probably.
Exactly. It's very open. You can see all three sides except for that one side next to the house next to it. But it's important for them to be able to have some access to that view.
Okay.
So they're just hoping nobody builds in front of them.
That is true, but it's an interesting lot because it's right on the street. Even if someone did build behind them, most of the view is kind of down the street there.
Yes.
So I think they would still retain most of that view. Unfortunately, right now, the only view you have from the house is from the mechanical room.
Yeah.
On the window on the right side elevation,
Yes,
that's a double window right now.
it is currently a double window, yes.
So you want to eliminate one and just have a single double hung and
Correct,
fill in the other one.
correct. But they'd also be replacing that vinyl window with a window that has SDLs.
And the only real issue that I see, which is, I don't know how other members feel about it, but there is a fair amount of alteration to a portion of the house that's going to be that's going to be visible.
Portion.
I mean, that's kind of that's why I was asking about the lot in front of it.
We're the homeowners. There, just to clarify, at the corner of Bay Avenue, there's actually a blue house directly behind ours, between us and Bay Avenue.
Oh, that's right.
It's a 3-story blue house.
Excuse me, could I get you to state your name, please?
Oh, of course, I'm Sparky Zivin, and this is my wife Amanda Zivin. We're the owners of 511 Harbor.
This is actually the rear of the house, Carrie. You know, it is visible from, what is it?
Yeah.
Nay.
Mason, not Mason,
So the house faces on Jefferson Avenue.
Jefferson.
The front door.
They face
The front
the harbor.
The front of the house is on Harbor.
Right.
Okay, so you would walk out the front door to Harbor Avenue.
Correct.
Correct.
So the photos that we're seeing of the back of the house, you would be standing either in the alley or in the vacant lot.
Well, actually, the Zivins did correct that. The lot behind them is it's a large blue house that was heavily modified probably
Right.
about ago.
That looks like the neighbor's yard in the back there, Carrie, the photo I'm looking at.
Yeah.
No, that's their yard.
Actually, we were standing in the alley. We were standing in the alley for the rear, and then we were standing in the alley behind their neighbor's house when we took the other photo for the side yard.
Right.
Because both those houses are very close together. They're 2 Cape Cods, extremely close together at that point.
Any other comments? Any
Um,
from anybody?
I think a sliding glass door is proposed.
No, they are French doors, patio doors, French doors that open.
Okay, okay.
I mean, I guess we have allowed modifications of the rear houses where it wasn't visible. And, you know, I mean, I don't know how everybody else feels about that, but I mean, this is certainly the rear of the house. And I don't think there's anything being done out of character for the house. I agree that there's probably nothing original left to the windows there. The siding is another story, but you're not exposing the siding. You're keeping the siding that's there, correct?
Correct.
So barring any other comments from anybody else?
And none.
And so I think, do we feel confident enough on this to propose a motion to approve?
I can propose a motion.
All right.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the applicant's proposal to renovate 511 Harbor Avenue, with the exception of just having the brick steps in the rear as opposed to pressure treated material. And I propose that we accept as proposed.
I second it.
Okay, we have a second. Any discussion? Okay, just for clarification, so you're going to relocate the steps that are currently on the door that's close to the outside shower to where the new door is going to be, correct?
Correct.
So Ed, is what you're asking that those steps, when they're relocated, be built back with brick?
Yes.
Right.
correct.
Okay, just wanted to clarify, be sure I was following that.
It'll match the screened-in porch. I think that would match nicer than the pressure treated.
Any other discussion? Okay, so we have a motion that's been seconded to approve the application with one exception, the exception being any additional steps that are added or relocated are returned as brick as they were originally. Does that adequately describe what you said, Ed?
Yes, it does.
Okay. We'll have a roll call vote. Ed?
Aye.
Mike? Mike, you're muted.
Aye.
Herb?
Aye.
Martin?
Yes.
Very good. The motion carries. All right.
Thank you. Does that approve both of the applications?
Both?
I mean, is it approved the certificate of appropriateness? Is that the?
Yes, so you do not have to return.
Awesome.
Whenever there's no real, where we don't find any issues or anything we feel like we need, that we can, in other words, the application is not going to be any different when it comes back.
Correct.
In terms of we're not asking you for anything. We have the ability to go ahead and make a motion to approve. So
Great. Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, the next application is for 416 Plum Street. And Kate, do you have any comments from the zoning side on this?
I am still looking at this for zoning compliance, just because the paperwork submitted did not give me dimensional setback requirements as to where they're placing the shed as it relates to their front, sides, and rear.
Yeah.
Okay. Are the applicants with us?
Good evening. Yeah, this is Todd Bagwell, homeowner of 416 Plum and the applicant.
So are you working on getting the zoning administrator what they need?
Well, I thought I had provided
I'm
that.
not-
I know there was one of the
I'm not talking to
applications.
Mr. Bagwell yet.
Oh, okay.
I know I've been corresponding with Tracy to try to get the right paperwork submitted. One of the forms I submitted, I know, had some dimensional setbacks from the side and the backyard or lot lines.
Okay, well, for tonight's exercise, that doesn't really impact us. It's just that be aware that to get on the agenda for final approval, you'll need to make sure you get all that squared away. So, do you want to just tell us a little bit about what you're doing, and then we'll see what information we can offer you?
Sure. So what we're looking at is really just a fairly straightforward patio improvement project in our backyard. The backyard is currently just a parking area covered in oyster shells. We're looking to turn that into a more usable patio area. So what we're proposing is a brick patio at grade with a privacy fence around it, just a wooden pressure treated lumber fence, and then a storage shed towards the back of that patio area, just for, again, general storage. The shed, 10 foot by 16 foot shed. So really no changes or addition to the actual primary house structure at all, just in the backyard.
What are you going to do with the tree that's there?
The pecan tree that would stay. Yeah, we're planning
Okay,
on keeping
it
that there.
stays. The tree
Mhm.
stays. Oh, okay.
Saving it?
Yes.
I have a question about the height of the fence along the alleyway. I think you're proposing a 6-foot fence.
That's correct. Yes.
I believe that the requirement is only 4 foot on the side yard. rear could be 6 feet.
That's correct.
Okay.
Side, but it's in the back.
That's the side of the rear,
No.
right?
It's the alley side, Ed.
Yeah,
You're right.
I know the neighbor has
Along,
the neighbor has a vinyl 6-foot fence, which
Yes.
that must have been happened before we were here. I don't know.
I don't know.
So I would just, make a mental note of that. Because that's not going to pass
I
zoning.
mean, really going back along that alley, almost every house I can think of has a 6-foot fence along the alley.
Yeah, but that might be the rear of their yard. Yours is running parallel with the alley.
But
Right. But so for privacy from a public alley, I was thinking we could do a 6-foot fence there.
Well, you can bring it up with the zoning administrator or planner. The way I interpret it is that's a side yard and you're only allowed a 4-foot high fence.
yeah, I don't know if Todd knows how in this case, it's as if the alley were an actual town street going past.
Okay, I see.
And there's a kind of a difference of opinion as to, because, the condition of that alley is not very good. There's seldom ever anybody that ever, no pedestrian traffic. It's just, it's a mess. I mean, it's not passable. So, but it's still technically a public access. So it's considered, like a town street.
I drove down
And
today.
that would be my question or request, is if it's to be treated like a town street in terms of my privacy from my yard, will the town maintain it like a public street?
I believe you're responsible from the middle of that alley to your property. That's the way it was described to me. That you can find out from the zoning.
Yeah, so I think what I would do, Todd, is I would just follow up with that before you come back for your actual application with zoning, to be sure that we don't get to the meeting and find out you can't proceed with your application because there was a zoning issue. Let's talk about the shed for a minute. So is this a portable shed that will come in and just be plopped on the ground?
Yeah, I mean, we've been looking at some vendors who would, sell essentially a prefabricated or pre-manufactured shed to be delivered and placed on the site there.
But it has no foundation. It's just sitting on its own.
It would be sitting on a graded gravel area, right? But no actual concrete foundation, no.
So your setback distance from your property line, that has a big impact on that. That's the reason I'm just bringing that up for you. And you're proposing to bring water to the shed?
No, I don't believe we'd have water in the shed. We over closer to the house, we were looking at an outdoor shower enclosure that would have water, but the shed would have power, but no water.
It just says water to shower and shed, so that's just probably an error.
Okay, we may just need to clarify that on the drawing there. Yeah.
Yeah, the how close will the shower be to your property line?
I mean, we were looking at putting it in that, corner, as you can see from the plan there. We didn't have a specific dimension defined. Is there a requirement for that?
Yeah, you'll have to check with that also with the zoning. Because that looks very close to the property line. I'm
I
sure
know
there's
with the
minimum.
shed, you'll have to be 5 feet off. I'm pretty sure that's a minimum of 5 feet off your property line. But again, zoning is the place to go with
Yeah,
that.
that's not our purview here.
Yeah, so let's get back. Any comments on the shed or the fence
And the shower.
and the shower? Other members?
Just so the tree stays, Tracy, there's nothing stating that the tree's staying.
So I think we would, and if you look at the guidelines, the recommendation is to paint the fences so that it's not this sort of pressure treated look. So I know it takes a little while for that material to get prepared for that, but I think you should probably put in that you're going to paint it after a certain period of time to allow it to weather out a little bit before it's painted. Any other questions for us that we can help you with?
The what you have left of the rear deck, is that going to stay the same material you have there now?
I mean, the deck will be removed, so the only thing that'll be left is just stairs, coming down from the back door into the patio, which will be at grade, and that was going to be pressure treated lumber.
Yeah, it says a 4x4 landing, and then the steps.
Okay.
So that should be, if you're going to go pressure treated, that's got to be painted also. Should be painted. I mean, it's the rear of the house. So. That's all I got.
Okay. So there's nothing else we can offer you, Todd. We'll see you for your actual application. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, next on the agenda is 209 Randolph Avenue. All right, Kate, do you have any comments?
Sure. This is interior renovations at this point, and so there are no zoning considerations from our perspective.
I assume that's just an error on the application. It says application type variance.
I think that is an error, yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, is the applicant with us?
Yes, I'm here. My name is Brad Connors. I'm the owner and put in the application.
Like, you want to just walk us through what you're going to do?
Sure. It's a interior, as was mentioned, a kitchen remodel. The footprint isn't changing. Currently, you can see from the pictures that the two windows that are in the kitchen are both below countertop height. And we want to raise them up so that we can add countertops and have normal windows that are above the countertop height. And we'll also add one window on the west side of the house. There's currently one window there, and we'll add a second. And then to bring in more light, we're pretty squeezed in with our neighbors. We're proposing a skylight as well. So the house was built in 1920, the original one, and there's since been 2 additions. I'm not sure what years. So the kitchen is the very back, newest part of the house. So that is where the skylight will be located. So it can't, I don't think you can see it from the street. So yeah, that's the general scope of the project. Kitchen remodel with windows that are currently below the counters.
Okay, comments or questions from the members?
I find it curious that the newer addition in the rear, and then they put the windows below the countertops.
Yeah, Ed, I agree. Curious is a good word there.
Yeah.
A question, the windows on the outside, are they wood?
No, they're vinyl, and so the replacement windows will be the same vinyl.
Okay.
So on the west wall, you want to remove the existing, add a double hung vinyl?
Yes, I guess that's the phrase, double.
Yeah.
2 windows side, like behind me.
Yeah.
2 windows side by side, yeah.
Other comments?
The window replacements, they're going to be going up against that overhang outside where you have the tape outline.
Yeah, that overhang. I mean, the top trim on the inside leaves a lot of space, but on the outside there's an overhang from the roof line, which, yeah, it shows it to be pretty close.
So
So to answer, if there's a next question there, nothing will have to change with the roof line.
I don't know about Martin, but my concern with that is that that is just really, really close. And I'm not aware of any buildings in town that have windows that run right up under the eave of the building. That's really sort of odd looking for the building.
you're gonna get a shadow there for sure.
And I
Yeah.
think when you come back for your actual application, I think it would be helpful for us to see a plan view of where these windows are and where you're located on the street and its orientation, that sort of thing.
You're in the back of the house.
I'll voice my concern. I think if we look at the window that you marked, the west window, I'm almost certain that the original frame is in there and it's just had vinyl replacements put in it. I'm always reluctant to see that original frame taken out and disposed of in lieu of putting a new window opening in. It's hard to see from these photos. One on the east side, I can't tell much about that frame in this photo, but certainly that photo of the west window would indicate that the original frame is still in there.
One on the east side, that almost looks like a stationary window from the picture.
Yeah, it does.
That window does not open and it's in crooked. It's and it's below the counter depth. You can see the counter coming through the outside of that window.
Yeah.
I think I could feel a lot more comfortable about changing that particular window if it didn't go all the way up to the eave edge. I don't know how everyone else feels about that. It just looks so out of character to take a window all the way up to the eave edge. And I understand why you're doing it, but the outside.
I mean, I would be completely open to putting a smaller window in there, but it feels very important to have windows above your counters instead of sinking below them.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Could you make it a horizontal window and raise it up? And that would reduce your, the height of the window if you made it horizontal.
Yeah, on the west side, is that what you're saying, Herb?
Yeah, right where the photograph is that shows the countertop. Make it a horizontal window rather than a vertical window.
Yeah, but you don't want to get something that with a horizontal plan that kind of falls out of character too, doesn't it? Herb?
Yeah. I would suggest maybe a double hung, not as high.
Not as high. Yeah, that seems very reasonable.
You'll get
On
more
each
light.
side.
You'll get more light and you don't have to go as high.
You got room for around a 30-inch window above that counter. If I count, well, I don't know, that siding is probably not 6 inches. That's probably 4 or 5 inch siding. So you might have room for a 28-inch window.
Height, is that what you're saying, Carrie?
Yeah, above the counter. But I don't know how everybody else feels. Those others that exhibit the beefiness of the original frame, I've got real concerns about changing those. And the west window, so you're going to reconfigure the kitchen to bring the counter around in front of the west window.
Yeah, that's right.
All the windows go almost to the roof line, Carrie.
Well, they go within 2 or 3 pieces of siding, and the tape that he has on some of these looks like there's a couple of inches between the eaves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The tape goes almost to the top of the roof.
Yeah, but
Each of these windows, this is the rear of the house, correct? And you have properties on each side of you that are, you said are close, or any of these visible from the sidewalk or the street?
The windows that we're talking about,
Yes.
the east window you cannot see from the street. The west window, my neighbor removed a tree. So that one, yeah, as you're walking up, you could see that one, even though it's way at the back. Because my neighbor, I don't know if any of you know Barrett Cree, he's on the corner there.
The little white house.
Yes, and I'm not sure what work he is doing. Anyway, above, yes, you can see it sort of past the corner and Barrett's shed. You could see the west window, but the east one, not at all.
You know, it may be helpful if you could find out when the rear addition was added and what year, because that would help you. If it's past a certain date, it may fall under different category.
Oh, okay.
and again,
How could I
plan
access
view.
that information?
You might be able to check with the building department or maybe the county. I'm not sure.
and I think a plan view showing where these windows are in relationship to the street and the property, I think that'll help with us to be able to sure we understand, what windows are visible or not.
Well, the
Gary,
east
I
side,
don't follow. What do you mean by a plan view? Do you mean a zoomed out from,
No, if you were
you're looking for interior
if you took
drawings?
the roof off of the building and you looked straight down, you're looking at a plan of the building. So where are the windows that you're gonna change? And then where is Randolph Avenue in relationship to each of those windows?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
And then how about the skylight? It doesn't tell us where that's going.
yeah, it
Oh,
goes,
I thought that was in
it
there.
goes in the
on
rear on the
west
west side.
Okay.
Yeah, I
I
thought
missed
that was
that.
west in there.
But I think you want to tell us where that's at also in this plan view.
Is that
So you're looking
Barrett's?
for like a bird's eye view of the home and where in relationship to the street these windows are.
Yeah.
Like the front elevation would be helpful from Randolph, the house front from Randolph, east side, west side.
Got it.
Are you right next to Barrett's little house, that little white house?
Yeah,
Yes, I'm the next neighbor over.
Okay, is that the photograph that we have with the string and the little stakes? Is that Barrett's layout?
yeah.
Yes, he has strung. Yeah, he's put strung right. Yes.
Okay.
What is he building?
I don't know, but that's where you can see where his property line goes, right? Very
It's really close, really close.
And that picture with the string, Herb, my contractor is standing right next to Barrett's shed.
Right.
So that's why you can catch glimpses of this window from the street.
Right.
But the shed is blocking a lot of it.
Right.
Barrett's shed is blocking a lot
Right.
of that. I don't know what Barrett is doing.
If I'm not mistaken, the
Rest
window,
assured, we're working with Barrett right now to try to get,
Oh, okay.
he will be visiting us hopefully shortly.
Okay.
So, rest assured, I just wanted to let you know that everyone goes through this process. Excuse me, Mr. Chair, can I the request that I have so far?
I'm sorry, say again?
Can I go through the request that I have so far?
Yes.
Okay, the board would like a plan view of windows in relation to the street and other properties, which will include orientation and placement or reconfigurement. And if the west window, to check to see if the west window original frame still exists. and the rear addition construction date, and the proposed skylight location in a plan view.
Correct.
So, Carrie, I have two questions for you. One, the picture that Herb and I were just talking about with Barrett's string attached. Zooming into that photo, that looks
This one.
like a, yeah, that looks like the original. Can I clarify? The original
So what's
wood
happened?
frame of the window? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So what's happened here is that these are what we call vinyl replacement windows. So
Yeah.
somebody came in, took the sash out, and just put in just the sashes in vinyl. And so they left the original frame in the building, and the frame is wrapped in this aluminum. That's what sort of gives you the hint that it's still there because of the beefiness and the depth that it has into the trim. I mean, into the wall.
Okay.
So if you look at a real modern window that the whole thing has been replaced, it's almost all in the same plane. There's no shadow lines or anything.
Yeah.
there.
Okay. All right. And then my second question, Carrie, is there, I see what you're saying, there's one line of siding right now on the photos. Is there a required space between the overhang and the top of the window, or is this just preference of look?
We don't have anything in the guidelines that I'm aware of that would specifically say a distance. The reference in the guidelines would be keeping proportionality and relationship of windows and doors to its historic nature. So, for example, the one where you have the counter in the window, which I'm not sure how that's identified, but you know the one I'm talking about, where you have a circle and the word counter in it.
Yes. Yeah.
That one looks like it's no more than 2 or 3 inches away from the eave edge. That to me is just really out of character with other historic buildings in town. But when you look at the west window, you're at least one full piece of siding below. That's pushing it, but it's not quite as much as the other one. But I think I've got a bigger problem because that's an original window frame in there. But you know, that's going to be up to the members as a total as to how they feel about that.
Okay.
The skylight would be placed above the double window on the west side.
Yeah, that's the proposed location.
The one that is the same photo showing the interior of the kitchen with the window down low.
That's right. That's the
But
same
again, I
west
think-
window.
I think having it shown on a sketch, it doesn't have to be anything really elaborate. It's just a sketch that shows that this window faces this direction, relationship to the street. That sort of
Okay.
And then lastly, for me, the windows don't tell us too much about them. We do require these are replacement windows also. And we do require them to have, you know, simulated divided light. So you'll have a grid on the outside and the inside. Now I can't really tell. It looks like you might have grids between the glass on these other windows that are there. But are you proposing to put a 6/6 window in the place of these 2/2 windows?
Yes, but I'm open to anything. But I mean, the rest of the house it's just that one that's 2/2.
The rest of them are
The rest of the house are just single. What is it? Is it called 1/1? I'm not sure.
1/1.
1/1s, right?
Okay. Yeah, you can sort of see the one picture of the east window. The upstairs is a 1/1. The rest of the house is a 1/1. I'm not sure why these ones are 2/2s. And I'm I'm honestly indifferent on
I
that.
think I would be more inclined to see 2/2s or 1/1s there rather than,
Okay, I'm happy to change that.
but again, that's just me. So,
Yep. Okay.
other comments from the members?
I think you covered everything, Gary.
Yeah.
Okay, any
No,
other questions
I'm
that
good.
we can offer you or help we can offer you at this point?
Oh, are you sorry for me?
Yeah.
I guess what's the next step? Obviously I will follow up with Tracy on the documents that you're asking, and then what? How does that roll out?
You don't have any zoning issues, so you just need to get, I mean, in order to make you as successful as possible, you need to have as much information as you can to help us see everything at your actual meeting. So that would be, information that we've talked about tonight that you would want to put together for your actual meeting, which I'm not sure Tracy, is that dependent upon when he gets stuff in, or how does that work?
Yes, that's dependent upon when we get stuff in. Right now, we're filling up April.
Okay. So
That's the next meeting.
If you can get everything into me by next Tuesday, I can put you on the April meeting.
Oh, I need to wait. Okay.
Yes, March is full. April and even May right now.
Okay.
Okay, anything else we can help you with?
Can I ask to just be squeezed into the March meeting? I don't.
I think the agenda's already full.
I'd have to squeeze in about 7 other applicants.
Okay.
I'm
I might have to wait a year then. Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
good luck.
You.
Okay, next application is 705 Monroe, 2-car attached garage addition. Kate, any zoning issues that we need to be aware of?
I am still working on the zoning review. I did talk with Allison about this afternoon. And I'm still doing further research because there are a total of 4 lots that are individual lots. There is some.
I'm gonna have to cut in there. We've clarified that. Yeah, you're wrong on the 4 lots. We've been paying.
And that may be the case. I did hear that from Allison today, that she believed that the lots have been consolidated. It's just that's not what's been submitted as part of this application.
Oh, yes, it was. Yep, it was. Send it all over to Tracy very clearly. It shows not only since 2017, we've been paying taxes in the town and in Northampton as 1 lot. We've also sent the receipt from the surveyor from 2017, January 2017, for what we paid to have him survey the properties. We sent that all over to Tracy very clearly in PDF and to Allison, and got no response 2 weeks ago. Tracy did say they got it, but Allison didn't look it over. So we have been paying taxes in town and with Northampton since 2017 as 1 lot and 41A, I believe it is. So they have been as 1 parcel since then. It was when we did a freestanding smaller shop with Jeb, and he said, oh, you just got to combine the properties. And we did that. So we showed the receipts from Northampton for the $20 fee we paid. I'm looking at it right now. We showed the receipt from the surveyor, which was an expensive survey. And we also showed the receipts from Northampton and from Cape Charles for the taxes we've been paying since January 2017 as 1 parcel, the 4 lots.
Okay, well, I think we're just trying to make sure that when you come for your actual meeting, that there's nothing to stub your toe on there. So that was our purpose for
That's why we're
running
trying to
through
show that
these.
to him 2 weeks ago. I couldn't get an answer. Obviously, you're having some regrouping there with Allison and such, but within about 20 minutes of her sending over that, oh, these are 4 lots, I sent back that information, and I got an automated email of I'm out of the office.
Okay, is that the only zoning issues that you're looking at, Kate?
That's what, that was a big crux of it. And then I think once I can see that revised plat, and again, I apologize, sir. So I will look through Allison's email and we'll get that straightened out here in the next 2 days. Then I can figure out if there are any other zoning concerns that we have that need to be addressed or not.
All right, thanks. Thank you, Katie. You want to, sir, you want to just walk us through what you're going to do there?
Sure, we're just gonna come off that west side of the existing home. The home sits on 4 lots. Originally, they were gonna develop all 5 lots here into 5 individual little homes. So we bought the place with the 4 lots, which is good. We wanted to save that lot and not have someone put something on it. You know, there's some beautiful trees on that lot. So we're gonna come off that existing ranch and go 26 feet to the west. When completed, we'll still be 45 feet from the property line.
What year, what year was this house built?
1979, brick ranch. So we're actually going to do exact matching brick veneer, exact matching Anderson windows. Believe it or not, the 40-year-old Andersons that are on the house, flawless. So we're going to put another 3x5, matching Anderson right on that west side, just like it is on the east. There's 2 Andersons there now. One will be bricked up. The other one will be the door to enter this attached garage. And then we're going to duplicate that exactly 26 feet further out with the matching brick veneer. We had some luck with the brick veneer since it's only 1979. T&W is working with us. They really came up with some cool samples for us to put the exact texture back on. It will look like it always was. It's kind of important to us. I'm a detail guy on yachts and such, so it's important that it looks exactly like it did.
Could you state your name for the record?
My name is William Stedman, Billy Stedman, and this is Linda A. Lines. She's my wife. She kept her maiden name.
Yeah, I have the same problem with my wife.
Yeah.
The other question I have is, do the trees go or the trees stay?
We got 3 we're going to get rid of. We have 16 trees on the property at this time. We had one of those trees we're getting rid of sailed a 900-pound branch off that did $24,000 damage to the house in 2018. We can show you those insurance claims. So we're going to get that one down. That happened. It just missed our bedroom. It flew. We know it's 900 pounds because they weighed us in with the debris out at that recycling center. The other one's an oak that's got a little bit of trouble, about 30% gone. And then we got one that we took a picture of. It's in the one photo. We think it was lightning struck, but before we owned the house, got a wild angle to it, and it's leaning towards the house. So we're going to remove 3 out of the 16 we take care of on the property here. We are not removing the Lebanon cedar in the front. It was one of the reasons we bought the lot. That's a gorgeous one, and we're leaving that. Right. Yep.
The zoning administrator will guide you that you have to have a permit to take the trees down.
We checked that box off on that.
You did?
Yep. Yeah. Yes, we did, sir. And we got the trees marked out front.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. No, we love the trees, Herb.
I know it.
Oh, they're awesome. We have the only shaded lot around. So you go outside in the summer. It's gorgeous. A lot of leaves, Herb.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions? Is it, Tracy, is it possible for us to approve this with a condition of zoning so that they wouldn't have to return to a meeting if the members felt so inclined?
That'd be
No,
wonderful.
actually in the zoning ordinance, it does say that all zoning has to be met.
Okay. All right. So we'll see you at your actual meeting once you've cleared through zoning and everything is, and see you for your actual application, unless you have questions for us.
About a time frame, Kerry, what do you got? We're on the March one then?
I don't know. You'd have to, Tracy has that calendar.
One thing to keep in mind, Kerry, we just had a wild thing come up, and it's frightening. We had a bid in for trusses in December on the 20th. In 19 business days, it went up 29%, $1,022 for the trusses. It's a little scary. This is a weird year for that stuff.
Believe me, I'm in the construction business and I can tell you that it
Good,
is
okay.
frightening for lots of people.
It is. So it worried us. We had to cut a few of the, we're like, oh, that was the end of the electric garage door openers right there. Like you just got to watch it with the budget,
But everybody is in line and we're just trying to treat everybody the same. And that's what Tracy's trying to get.
I'm with you. I'm glad you're aware of that. It was, and you're right on it. It's a little strange. And it was, we made one change in the trusses, which was $70. And they said the rest was COVID lumber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tracy, I'm sorry. Could you give them an idea of what they're?
As I stated with the other applicant, that would probably be April.
Boy, that's a shame. Can we at least get that's a real shame. How about, well, that's a lot. Is it 30 days then from that meeting for the permit?
It is. It's 30 days from that.
It's going to cost us some money.
So
Tracy, can
we can't approve this application and then he gets the approval from zoning? She was only
Because-
taking it,
We can't start the work until zoning approves it, but what is precluding us from doing our job now on this?
We filled in all the applications, by the way, Martin. Everything's there.
It's not that. It's just what the zoning ordinance says. Katie, do you want to weigh in on this?
I think if we can achieve the zoning review and compliance and nothing further alters this, then I think we can make a conditional vote this evening.
The one other thing, Katie, we got to watch our contractor's good. He's done a couple cool beach cottages in town.
Can I interrupt you there just a minute? Let us work through the process here, and I understand your concerns, but so long as we meet the requirements of the town code and the zoning
Cool
requirements. So just give us a moment here.
Please, thank you.
So Katie, you're
Terry,
saying that
I think if the board is satisfied with what he has proposed for his improvements relative to the materials and location on the property, I think you can vote today for your approval for historic board review, and is contingent upon receiving zoning clearance before that can be issued from the office. And thus he would not need to come back for a second meeting with this board.
That sounds good. The zoning administrator has spoken.
very good. Okay, so we would entertain motions.
I make a motion, Carrie, that we approve the addition as stated in the drawings and the specs on the materials, and with the modification of the zoning, it be approved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the application with the condition that zoning must be approved.
Nobody.
Cleared prior to.
Ed.
We have a second?
Yes, I second.
Any discussion?
I met with the applicant today. I was just happened to be taking a look at his house, and I told him it'd probably be brought up about the roof pitch, which nobody brought up, so I was just kind of surprised.
But it matches the current pitch,
Right, it does.
That's correct, Carrie.
And this is a non-conforming building. I can't get the word out of my mouth now.
Yes.
Anyway, so, all right, any other discussion?
No.
Okay, we'll have a roll call. Ed?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Herb?
Herb, yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Okay, so the motion is approved with the condition that it must be cleared through zoning before the issuance of the certificate of appropriateness.
Thanks.
All right.
Carrie. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, the next one is lots 369 Tazewell. This is to construct a new two-story single-family dwelling. Kate, do you have any comments for us here?
Vinyl window.
Unfortunately, this again is still another one I am working through with Allison. She indicated there had been some emails on this one, but I had not had a chance to finish that research to see what correspondence may have passed between her and the applicant and or the contractor. So I apologize for that this evening.
Okay. All right. Is the applicant here?
Yes, I'm the builder, Scott Sleemy, and Mr. Beasley's also on the call.
Mr. Beasley is the owner?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right.
So we had been on a previous meeting in January, and there were some concerns about the house that we were proposing with the neighbor and with zoning. So we've taken all of those comments into consideration and resubmitted with all of the changes that were requested by both zoning and the board.
So Tracy, is this a
This is a pre-application. They submitted a whole new application because it's
okay?
a new
All right.
home.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Mhm.
And Tracy and Carrie, I'm a little bit, I don't quite understand that, and I wanted to see if I could get some clarification. We had gone through the pre-approval meeting. We had also had conversations with Allison about the zoning issues. And it was my understanding that we had addressed everything in very, very fine detail that had been brought up to us. So I'm just unsure of why we're still in the pre-approval stage.
Because this was a whole new application. It wasn't just like you bringing back a window change. This was a whole new plan. So like a whole new house. So it was starting all over again. Because the whole plan of the house has changed. So
Okay,
that's
but
pre-application because we treated it as a new one.
but those were completely based off of the comments that we received in the pre-approval. So now it's setting us back several months. And again, based off of the prior comments, OSB alone has gone up 150%. I mean, it's just insane. We went from paying $7 to $31 for one piece of OSB. So, this is costing a lot of money. I would just, ask for the same consideration that if the plans are approved, that we could have the same consideration of the last applicant.
It's a separate
All right.
app.
Well, let's work through this. So, how about any comments from the members on the presented plans?
Yeah, Gary.
Yeah.
This is a whole new house, so it's not
Well,
the same.
and I agree with you, Herb. So, let's just walk through it. If we don't have any issues, we still have that option of approving just as we did the other.
I would like to know how the house sits on the lot in relationship to the tree that's in the back of the house, back lot.
There was a new site plan submitted with the application that you all should have.
It doesn't show a tree on it.
I don't see the tree.
The tree, Price, do you know approximately how far off that rear line that the tree is?
So I think if you're looking at the site plan, it references a note about a wooden fence in the rear of the lot. And then I don't have the exact dimensions, but the tree is call it a few feet off of that. Obviously the tree is there before the fence. But the house design, on prior submission and on the tweaking since the feedback on January 5th has always taken into account that tree to not disrupt the root structure and to stay clear as much as possible from any encroachment vertically. So we've really adjusted the presentation of the house relative to the street based on the January 5th feedback. Maximize the width, and then that subsequently takes some off the depth. So I don't think in any way, shape, or form do we encroach anywhere near that tree. And nor would we want to.
No, the wooden fence, the location of the tree, is it on the alley side or the house side of the wooden fence?
House side.
So it's towards the rear setback.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and that wooden fence is, I don't have the site plan right in front of me, but that wooden fence, I mean, there's enough depth there between the alley and that wooden fence effectively to park a car.
Right. And the hedges go, correct? The English boxwood hedges?
You're talking about on the front?
Yes.
Our desire is to minimize any disruption to those. I think we understand with bringing the water and sewer tap connections through, we'll need an easement of roughly 10 feet on that front fence line. So we want to be as minimal in disrupting that front hedge line as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, other comments from the members?
There'll be black, white vinyl windows.
It needs a 10-foot easement for water and sewer?
I'm sorry, Mike, go ahead.
I'll just say the black, white vinyl windows. Is that what we're looking at?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to have some corrugated metal on the roof. And I can't remember if this came up.
We actually removed, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but we did remove, we removed all of the metal roofing per your previous comments.
Okay, well, we're going to have to get that off of the drawings because it clearly says metal roof, standing seam, union corrugated metal.
Is that on the floor plan?
It's on the elevation notes.
Oh, the notes. They didn't update the notes. The actual plan itself, we have removed them. They forgot to remove them from the notes section.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you where it was because I was seeing the certainty, shingles.
Yes. The drafters forgot to remove the actual note itself.
Anyone else have any other comments?
I'd just like to ask Tracy if we had any input from the neighbors where they're satisfied with the new design of the house.
I did not get any neighbors' comments.
Good or bad?
None whatsoever, good or bad.
Okay, thank you.
And this is Price. I can, I've reached out to Tim Crizel, and he had no comments or concerns on this plan. We certainly took a lot of the feedback to heart on the initial attempt, especially with the cantilever design, the setbacks, those all have been satisfied in this plan. And we've also had just an awesome dialogue with the McIntyres, who I know are moving on here soon to what sounds like a really cool little spot up in Machipongo, but they absolutely love the design.
Yeah, okay, that satisfies my curiosity because we met with the neighbors and they were concerned, and I just wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page.
I have a question about the front porch decking. What size is the pressure treated going to be?
The deck boards would be 6-inch, and they would be run perpendicular to the house.
So it's just a standard eased edge deck board.
Yes.
I know we would really prefer to see a T and G board there. but I'm not sure what the guidelines have to say about that.
Yeah, I think they prefer a tongue and groove wood actually, but we've approved a composite tongue and groove material.
We have, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it says reflect the size, height, and materials of porches on historic buildings in town. So, I mean, I would kind of interpret that we would prefer to see a T&G deck. It's fairly visible, especially when you have these eased edge decking boards visible from the street.
So I'm sorry, is that required?
Well, you're at a pre-approval meeting, so, you're kind of a chicken and an egg. If we were approving, if you were at an actual meeting, it would be up to the members to decide whether that was, enough of an issue to ask you to change it. I mean, I think all we can do at this point is point you to the guidelines, and the guidelines do say reflect the historic character of porches in town. And, having a T&G board on the deck certainly reflects the character of the town. Certainly no historic buildings in town that have original eased deck boards for their porch decking. So,
So are with the tongue and groove decking, would that be painted? Is that what you would want? Yeah. You would want to paint it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you could put a composite, and sometimes you can paint it, and sometimes you don't have to paint it.
Yeah,
right.
A composite that has a color, pigmented product.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So the question. Any other questions from the members?
The only questions I have are, Carrie, is about the window sills that the windows that you're going to put in. Does it have a 2-inch sill?
Are you talking about? So you're talking about the height of the sill?
The depth
thickness
of the sill. The thickness.
Depth, the thickness of the sill. I believe that would be a 2-inch sill. It's a 4-inch framing, so I believe it would be a 2-inch sill.
Okay, because I don't believe the house that's on Randolph by Chesapeake Properties has the sills.
So what we're looking for there, Scott, is we're looking for the replication of the historic look of windows in town. So if you look at the historic windows, they have a sill that's 2 or 3 inches thick that protrudes out past the siding. And they typically don't have a picture frame around them. And that's the modern approach, is to do a picture frame around the window, and the sill has very little projection and very little depth to it. So to replicate the look of a historic window, and we're not looking for an exact replication, but to give it that feel, is a sill that the exterior legs of the trim come down and die onto the sill, and you don't have this picture frame look. You have the sill becomes the bottom. Am I articulating that correctly?
Yes, I think I understand what you're saying there, and that's no problem. We could that would not be a problem.
So when you look at your description of the building, there's some inconsistency here about the windows. It says windows, simulated divided lights, black, with 6-inch white PVC trim on top and 4-inch white PVC trim on the sides, on the front of the home and the front porch return. Windows, grids between glass, black, with 6-inch white PVC trim on top and 4-inch on the bottom on the sides and rear of the home. So which one is it?
Well, we wanted to, we wanted to find out from you if the GBG is required on the entire house or only on the windows that are visible from the street.
Well, actually, the guidelines require that you don't use a grids, a GBG, a grids between the grills, that you have a simulated divided light, which has the grids on the outside.
Right. Now, is that requirement for the entire house or only on
Yes.
the windows that are visible from the street?
All of them.
Okay.
And now you can get away from that by not having any grids in the windows.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, could he do the 2/2 on the windows that are going to be visible from the front,
Louis
and then
Girardi,
on his sides and rear, just do, no grids and have the 1/1? Is that a possibility?
I think you would want them the same, to me. I don't know
So
how other members feel.
This is Price. Can someone just, I guess, point me to where in the historic guidelines it calls for the STLs?
Just a moment. Somebody else gets there before me. Please chime in.
Yeah, I've gone through it and I wasn't able to find it. I think in just a observation on my part, in driving through the town, it seems like the majority of the houses now that are either being built or are being, have replacement windows, they're opting to not have grids because of the extreme price variance between an SDL and a GBG.
yeah, true divided light is definitely much more costly, that's for sure.
Right.
We're not asking for a true divided light, though. We're just asking for grids on the exterior.
Yeah, so I think we totally buy into the effect of that divided light window. I guess I can't understand from the guidelines about why GBGs wouldn't support that intent.
Because when you look at the window, they look entirely different. The appearance of a grid between the glass doesn't give you the shadow lines or anything that respects the original appearance of the windows. Again, there's plenty of buildings in town, historic wise, that have no, divisions in the lights. So you're safe with that. But we've been requiring those exterior grids rather than grids between the glass.
Yeah, and it's a $12,000 upgrade. So that's a tough pill to swallow on a $500,000 build. So we're fine doing no grids, and we would move this along with the tongue and groove.
Okay.
Okay, so tongue and groove, we'll do the tongue and groove perpendicular decking on the porch, and then remove the grids from all of the windows in the front doors.
Any other comments? So I guess the question is there any members that feel strong enough to approval with the exceptions that they would want to make a motion?
And the siding staying hardy plank, horizontal, and then vertical up on the front gable.
That's correct.
Is that going to be a board and batten look on the front gable?
Yes, so it's on the front gable, and then you can also see it on the right side where the house steps back. There's where the stairs are, where that protrudes out the side. That also has a board and batten siding, and then the remainder is the horizontal lap.
I just have one other question. The balusters, is there a dimension to those balusters that you're going to use?
Those balusters are 2x2 squares.
But the actual measurement?
I'm sorry?
The actual measurement?
I don't know exactly what it is, but what we use is a 2x2.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not a full 2x2. But...
No.
That would be my last question.
What do you?
We would prefer a wider baluster as opposed to a thin baluster.
Yeah, I mean, a full 2-inch would be great. I think 1.5 would be, to me, would be the absolute bare minimum.
Yeah.
That we'd like to see there.
Sure.
Two would be better.
Okay. That's not a problem.
Okay, do we have any members who feel strongly here to make a motion?
Will he sign all these changes that we've made so that they will, we've agreed to the change and modifications, the specifications that we want?
I think one of the problems is that, we have a lot of changes here that are written on the drawings.
Right.
I mean, I don't know that that's any different from other changes that we've asked people to make, and the follow through to make sure that they show up that way is one of the issues that we have. But I don't know that this one's any different from the others to me on that issue.
It's just that our administration is overworked, and sometimes builders get by, they kind of get it done, and then we kind of say, okay, well, it's already done.
Yeah, Herb, this is Scott. I'm the owner of the building company, and I have no problem. I don't want to do anything, to jeopardize, our company there or the Beasleys, and I have no problem, putting all of this into writing. I actually own land in Cape Charles myself that I plan on building on in the future. And, I don't want to do anything, like I said, to jeopardize our relationship or my standing in Cape Charles.
I'm not accusing you of anything, buddy, at all.
No. And I wasn't saying that. My point is I wanted to tell you that, I will definitely sign off on everything that, that we've talked about. And I can submit that in writing back to Tracy tomorrow morning, when I get to the office.
Okay.
So let me see if everybody agrees that these are the issues that we have. So the corrugated metal roofing needs clarification. The windows need clarification. The front porch decking needs clarification, and we're still waiting on zoning clearance.
Balusters.
So that's 5 things.
Yeah.
Carrie.
Yeah.
Carrie, it's Herb. Could you repeat those things so that we could get them on them?
So we've asked that the corrugated metal roof be removed from the drawings, and that we clarify that it's going to be an asphalt shingle roof. And we asked for clarification on the windows, the sills on the windows, and the windows themselves. Clarification or change on the decking to a T&G product. There's still a zoning issue that's hanging out there, and that the balusters be a 2-inch cross section. Have I missed anything?
The fiberglass columns, they'll be painted? They won't be just
Correct.
left as is?
No,
Okay.
correct. Yes, those will be painted white.
I mean, I hear the pain in waiting, so that's why I'm asking if anybody feels confident enough. I mean, this is 5 things we have on here. It's a lot, but I feel their pain for waiting. Do we have anybody that wants to propose a motion to that?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in Scott's word and the reputation of his company. So I will make a motion that we approve it with the stipulation of all the items that were mentioned by the board be written, and that Scott will sign those and give them to Tracy in the morning.
Is it okay with you, Herb, if I read those as part of your motion?
Pardon me?
Is it okay if I read those as part of your motion?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, so Herb's presented a motion to approve with the exception or the changes that include clarifying the roofing material to be asphalt shingles, clarification of the windows to be 1/1 windows, and that the sills be a 2-inch thick sill. The decking is a TNG product. The zoning clearance is achieved, and that the balusters on the porch be a 2-inch nominal dimension. Does that cover your?
That's fine, Terry. Perfect.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, we have a second. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, if I may make a suggestion,
Yes.
if they can also include that as a note on the building plans to ensure that in case something gets missed in the drawings themselves, the notes on the front, which would be co-signed by me as your zoning administrator, would supersede any other discrepancies within the building plans themselves.
Okay, Scott, are you good with that?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Other discussion? All right, we'll have a roll call vote. Ed?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Very well, the motion carries. Questions for us, Scott? All right.
I don't think so. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you guys taking everything into consideration. Thank you.
Okay.
And this is Price. I second that. And just for my own clarification from here, the process to building permit, if I understand it correctly, is that a 30-day wait with Scott and all that over to you all tomorrow?
Tracy, can you advise on that?
I'm sorry, what was that? I was doing minutes.
His process from here is once he gets all of this in, it's a 30-day wait, or is it after the certificate of appropriateness is issued that he has a 30-day wait?
The certificate of appropriateness will, since you all approved it, will be issued, but it's a 30-day wait before the
Okay. Did that answer your question, Price?
Yeah, I think so. Yep. Appreciate it.
Okay. Everybody, do we have a motion to
Make a motion,
adjourn?
we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any discussion? All right. Roll call for Ed.
We can adjourn.
Okay. Mike,
Yes.
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Again, thanks everybody for your time. And thank you, Tracy and Kate. Thanks for filling in and helping us out here. Everybody have a good evening.